Okay, we need to spice things up a little bit. Do you remember there's a period of time where there's a leak from Twitch?
Nobody is ever comfortable with such private information being leaked on the internet.
Hi, I'm Julynn and welcome back to Life of a Streamer. Today we'll be sitting down with Denise, better known as Supercatkei. She's known for her bubbly and wholesome personality which shines through her streams. We'll be doing a full rundown of her PC and her setup and ask her how it has improved over the years. Let's go! And we are here with Supercatkei, also known as Denise.
Hello!
Singapore's top streamer, one of Singapore's top streamers. Why? Don't be shy, you are.
I think it's really hard to identify what a top streamer is. For example, they can look at your viewership and be like, oh, you have the most viewers, you are the top. But I think to each their own. Just personally, I don't really go by any of that. I just think everyone's a streamer.
Humble!
No.
I think a lot of us are very, very, very curious about who is Supercatkei to you?
Supercatkei is essentially an extension of me. A lot of people think that I am very different from who I am on stream, but actually I'm the same person. I'm just a lot more shy in person. Back in secondary school, I think I was like 15 years old. I used to wear this shirt all the time and it said, I'm your superhero, and it had a cat with a cape on it, and I wore it so often, and my friend came up to me and like, hey, Supercat! And I was like, that's a pretty cool name. And K-E-I comes from my my Chinese name, which is Jiaqi, and in Cantonese that's Kakei. That's how the name.
So Supercatkei, do you have the shirt that you were talking about?
Yeah.
Really?
Can
you show us?
It's a bit musty and crusty, but this is the shirt.
Oh, she was 15 when she wore it.
Yeah, I don't wear it anymore.
Oh my god, so cute!
I almost threw it away.
No! This is your identity, this is your cape!
Yeah, now I have to keep it. Now I have no choice.
What does your day-to-day look like as Supercatkei?
I only stream 3 times a week. So I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. Sometimes that changes, but most of the time that's the schedule. So on days where I'm not streaming, I spend most of my time working on brand engagements or with sponsors, or I spend that time ideating for a lot of the stream content that I work on. So some of the content requires quite a bit of preparation. So for example, I've done certain streams where I try out fruits for the first time.
So you had to go and get all the fruits?
Yeah, I had to, I also want to make it a very inclusive process with the viewers. So I would ask them hey, what fruits do you want me to try? And then they name as many, and then I see what's feasible for me and my stomach. And then I have to go and buy it and stuff like that. I like to think that live streaming, or the way that I look at it, is pretty much like a television show.
Yeah.
So every month or every week, they can look forward to something and it's familiar. They know what they're looking forward to. They know what they can tune in to watch. But on the days where I do have streams, I try to stay home and get as much rest, because I think you would know streaming is very draining.
Yeah.
You don't know what's gonna happen in a stream that can really kind of take your energy.
Do you have a team to help you out with, or a mod, or how do you prepare for these kind of events?
Yeah, so I mean every other streamer has mods, and I have really lovely mods. I think they're the best mods. They are very supportive of every single stream. They are really supportive of the events that we run as well. And I also have a team that supports me. They're not my mods, but they are people who help me, build the community or help me with my social media. And that's the team that I have on the side as well.
What kind of content you actually have on your stream? Is it just chatting or?
I'm a variety streamer, so I do a mix of things. Music is a big part of my streams. I like to play video games. I started as a gaming streamer, and I also do podcasts and RL streams.
Were you in any other professions before you actually started streaming full-time?
Yeah, I was never in social media.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think the closest I was when I used to work in advertising. But after advertising, I actually went to New York. I would go back and forth between Singapore and New York and building startups.
Wow!
I don't work on many startups. I just focused on one.
Oh, okay.
And that particular startup was in career development for youth.
Oh my god, that makes so much sense. Is that why you have this motivation for Cat Dojo?
Yeah.
Because you like to mentor and you like to see them grow.
Yeah.
Wow! Okay, so what actually got you into streaming?
I had already been a viewer on Twitch. When the circuit breaker happened, I was just at home and I really wanted to play video games, but I had no PC.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I think we should get a PC. And since I was already gonna get a PC, might as well just try. My brother actually started before me.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Your brother streams on Twitch?
Not anymore, I think. I don't know. But yeah, he used to.
So what is that big moment that made you decide that you want to do this full time?
I started August 2020. I think because I started right before streaming became mainstream. It was a very interesting time. A lot of people were slowly discovering about Twitch. At the 4-month mark, I had to ask myself like, okay, do I want to do this as a full-time job? I was still working in the second startup
in the
US.
Okay.
Yeah. I also just started my master's part-time.
You're clever, you're smart.
No,
you're smart.
No.
You're a smart person.
I just like learning.
Okay.
And then with stream, I think taking a lot more of my time, I had to really decide, okay, what is one of the 3 things that I want to drop? I just started school, so obviously I'm not going to drop school. That really forced me to start thinking of streaming like a career, earn money, be my full-time job in order to quit the previous full-time job. I told myself, okay, I want to make sure I earn X amount of money this month, or hit X amount of viewers in order to show that I'm growing. And I wanted to see whether I was just still very passionate about streaming.
Whether in this period of time you lose that.
Yeah.
Right.
I made the decision to go full-time in January 2021.
In terms of like income wise, like is it only coming from your viewers, or do you have like sponsors, all that, so that it will make this income more feasible?
When I first started, it was entirely from Twitch. In the later half of 2021, I think a lot more brands started to be more aware about live streamers. Thankfully, now that becomes a much bigger portion of my income.
So as a Singaporean, do your parents actually approve of your career choices?
My parents have questioned my career choices for maybe 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
Even during the startup period?
Yeah, because it's so unorthodox. I graduated from poly and I had the opportunity to go into university, but I was like, hey, I don't really know if I want to do that. When the opportunity to go into building startups came about, I just resonated so much more with that, and it took a lot of convincing to my parents to be like, yeah, this is okay, it's okay for me to do this. At the end of the day, parents want you to make sure you have
Stability.
yes, right? And that's very, very fair. The last year has really kind of helped them to see what I'm doing, and they get to meet the viewers as well and realize the kind of impact that we're making. And my mom has been on my streams quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah. She's been on a couple of streams, she talks to them and always lurking on streams as well. So for example, if I say like, oh, I ran out of water chat, and suddenly my door opens and I get a bottle of water.
Your mom watches your stream?
Yeah, my mom's, but she's not a subscriber.
Do you actually think that streaming is a financially sustainable career in Singapore?
I think with where everything is moving in the last 2 years, it's definitely quite a viable career option. I think it's not easy. I think that's the misconception. I think a lot of people, they want to be live streamers because they want to play video games as their full-time job, for example. But what they don't realize is that there's a lot of preparation that's needed. It's not something that everyone will be successful at. I think just to add a little bit more, and this is not applying to you, but what I've noticed from a lot of streamers is that they actually use that misconception to kind of console themselves. For example, if it's not working out, then they're like, oh, nobody can be a streamer, it's not easy, it's too difficult. But actually, it's possible. Either haven't found out that direction that you're supposed to go into, or you're not really working on the content or the community. It's interesting. Sometimes streamers misconceptualize it more than other people who have never heard of the platform.
So do you think it's actually a rewarding career? I mean, apart from finances and everything?
Yeah, I think it's one of the most fulfilling jobs I've ever had in my last couple of years. Yeah.
Versus the startup and everything.
I had a lot of fun. Not to say that that wasn't fulfilling. Streaming is the first time I've ever had a platform. It's really the first time where all of my interests, all of my skills, all align to one particular thing. And to be able to impact lives in the way that I have in the last year and a half is very gratifying.
Do you think streaming as a career is for everyone?
Anyone can become a streamer if you just want to do it for fun. If you want to make friends, if you want to play games, just do it. But if you want to be full-time, then that's where the certain other set of skills come in. You do need something that's a little bit like that X factor, right? For you to really be able to be different from everyone else.
So do you have any advice you can give to smaller streamers who are aspiring to do it full-time?
The main few things that I always share is to be consistent. Like I mentioned, I like to see myself as like a television show at times. The viewers knowing when you're live and what you're going to do helps them a lot. And this is coming from someone who had like no social media presence, literally started from 0 viewers. And I think something that a lot of people don't really think about is actually the community. Listen to what your viewers are saying and what they are interested in. But it takes a very, very long time. So don't expect it in like 2 months, 3 months. Yeah.
So I heard that you have some mentorship with smaller streamers or aspiring streamers. What's that about? Can I join?
Yeah, you can. I mean, you don't have to. You're already very established. But essentially, it's just a way for me to share what I know to younger or older streamers. Basically, any streamer that wants to learn more about how to hone their craft, build their community, find out what kind of content they want to make, and things like that. The workshops and the mentorship is really for a much more intimate kind of session to really understand what are some of the challenges like you have as a streamer and how, what are some ways that we can help you.
Is there any successful mentees that you have actually mentored?
Everyone who joins the Cat Dojo actually has different goals. So not all of them want to have like many viewers and a lot of subscription. In my eyes, all of them are successful. But there are definitely those who really stood out. I think Patrick, his Twitch name is Tangos. Definitely someone who really took all the advice and ran with it and made it his own. He started from like no viewers, like 40 followers, and he really built a name for himself. So, but all of them are honestly really, 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 really talented.
Okay, we need to spice things up a little bit because this is really, really wholesome. Do you remember there's a period of time where there's a leak from Twitch? How do you handle the pressure when the Twitch leak came about and your payouts were made public?
Most of the people that were affected were the top 100 globally. And obviously none of them, I think, are from Singapore. So I thought it would never affect me. Until somebody decided to write an article about it. Nobody is ever comfortable with such private information being leaked on the internet. The viewers were very supportive. I think beyond the numbers, they were actually more concerned about how I was feeling. And it ended up being a session on like taxes and like, do streamers pay taxes? How do streamers blah, blah, blah. So it ended up being a really kind of informative kind of chat with the viewers, and everyone was quite supportive of it.
So what are some of your highs and lows moments of like Twitch?
We've done a lot of really crazy things together, like as a community that I never thought we would be able to do. So every year, as part of my KMS December kind of streams, we do a charity stream to give back to people in need or into a particular organization. Last year, we did our charity stream. We managed to gather like $10,000 in 4 hours of a live stream to donate to a mental health organizations in Singapore. That alone was easily like one of the best things that I've done in streaming. And the lows would be like every single day of the stream.
Why?
I think it's very mentally draining. And I didn't set out to be a creator or an influencer, whatever you want to call it. And suddenly there's a lot of attention on me that I'm not used to. And I think that took a very big toll on my health. At the very start, I wasn't really too sure how to manage certain expectations. Everything happened really fast and caused me to burn out quite a few times.
Whoa, okay, this is a question that I really want to ask, especially like to a lot of streamers, because I think we don't touch a lot on burnouts. How do you handle these kind of burnouts? Like when you're burnt out, first of all, how do you know? And second of all, how do you come back?
For me, I started to dread going live. I would know it's a Tuesday and I would not look forward to it because I would be so anxious in the morning and I'd be like, oh no, I don't know what I'm doing today for stream. Even though I might already have content planned out. Everyone around me actually does not set that kind of expectation on me. I think I put it a lot on myself to want to be better. I think at times it's not so good for me. I think I'm learning how to balance that. What I've found that really helped is, to just do whatever I want.
Okay.
So like, I just want to play Valorant for 5 hours straight. That might not be great for my viewership, but it helps me to kind of rebuild that relationship with streaming again. I think I've become a lot more patient with myself, and I think most importantly I started to find more things to look forward to, like running events, because I love running events, focusing more on building my TikTok or Instagram. So finding something that kind of ignited the passion to create content really helped me.
So how have you as a content creator evolved over the years?
I think just a lot more refined. The setup is a bit more complex, but in terms of who I am as a person, I think I'm pretty much still the same. I think the OG viewers would agree with that as well. I started off using the microphone on an Apple earpiece, and I would tape it to my face because I'd speak too softly and it couldn't hear me. So you really don't need anything that's too fancy.
Do you think a webcam is important?
I think sound is more important than video. The first thing that people always tune in for and what makes people stay is actually audio. If your video is bad, people can still kind of forgive, but if your audio is bad, they won't stay. There are many streamers who don't have a face cam and are super successful.
So how about your setup? I'm seeing like you have so many different gears. Like, is it for music or?
I'm really thankful because all of the things were gifted by members from the community. For example, the Shure SM7B microphone was gifted from one of my viewers, and that really pushed me to do more music. Halfway through my music journey, I kind of wanted to take music to the next level, so we kind of all worked together to get a loop pedal. It basically allows me to have more fun with the type of music that we sing and stuff like that. This level of equipment is not necessary, but there's a lot more affordable options now as well.
So let's wrap this up. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully married. COVID has taught me that, to take things a day at a time. I can be a live streamer now, but I don't really know what's gonna happen. Because if you asked me 3 years ago whether I ever saw myself to do live streaming, I would have been like, nah. Right? So anything can happen. I'm very open to whatever comes my way.
So that's about it. Thank you for letting us know more about your setup, your life as a streamer.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really fun.
And if you want to know more about Supercatkei, all of her socials will be in the description box down below. Remember to subscribe to us, leave a comment on who you want to see next on The Life of a Streamer, and also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And until next time,